And Ukraine's businesses are struggling to function as repeated Russian attacks on the country's energy grid trigger widespread power outages during one of the coldest winters of the war so far. From bakeries and cafes to factories and retailers, electricity cuts now dictate working hours. It dictates output and costs. Many firms rely entirely on generators now to stay open, pushing operating expenses sharply higher. Switching between grid power and generators has become a daily routine for thousands of businesses. For many small enterprises, uninterrupted electricity has become the difference between operating and shutting down.
The most vulnerable have been small cafes and family-run establishments because those kinds of businesses have fewer resources, especially financial ones. For example, if an entire month is loss-making, there are times when there is simply nothing to cover those losses. There are also staffing problems and supply issues. For a small family-run place, all of these challenges are multiplied because there are no reserves to offset the losses over a certain period of time.
The energy crisis is compounding pressures already created by nearly 4 years of war. Businesses face labor shortages due to military mobilization and migration, falling consumer demand and rising security and logistics costs. Industry groups say restaurants and small cafes are experiencing their toughest period in 2 decades, with limited financial buffers to absorb losses.
Unfortunately, the business will operate at a loss in December and January. We're trying to cover these losses with income from our other sources, essentially our other cafe and our production side.
At the macro level, economists warn that continued attacks on the energy system pose the most immediate risk to Ukraine's economy. Forecasts suggest output losses could reach 1 to 2% of GDP if businesses adapt. But prolonged energy disruptions could push losses closer to 3%. For Ukraine's business owners, the goal is simple: stay open, endure the winter, and be ready for a future beyond the war.